Chapter 1. The Words That Broke Her Heart. My name is Jonas, and this is a story I have carried for many years. I remember my mother clearly, a gentle woman with a warm smile that felt like sunshine. Her voice was soft, and her eyes always looked at me with love and patience. But sometimes, like all mothers and sons, we fought over small, meaningless things. We loved each other deeply, yet sometimes our words became sharp and painful. A few years ago, we had a terrible fight, the kind that changes everything inside you. I was young then, maybe 20, full of pride and foolish confidence. I thought I knew everything about life, and I refused to listen to anyone. My anger spoke louder than my heart that day. I said terrible words to my mother, words I wish I could erase forever. When I looked at her face, I saw the pain in her eyes. It was like I had struck her, not with my hands, but with my anger. She didn't shout or cry. She just looked at me with silent sadness. Then she turned away and walked to her room, slowly, quietly. She closed the door with a soft sound that hurt more than any scream. The silence in the house felt heavy, like it was pressing on my chest. I went to my room and sat on my bed, my heart full of regret. Why did I say those cruel things? Why couldn't I stop myself? My mother had always loved me, even when I was wrong. But my anger had grown too big, like a monster I couldn't control. That night, I couldn't sleep. I just lay there in the dark, feeling broken. The house was quiet, but my mind was full of noise and guilt. I thought about my mother sitting alone in her room, maybe crying. Finally, I sat at my small desk and took out a piece of paper. I picked up my pen and stared at the blank page for a long time. Then the words began to come, slow at first, then faster, like tears falling. I wrote, "Mom, I'm sorry for my words today." I wrote, "I love you very much. You are the best mother in the world," and I added, "I hate myself when I make you cry. Please forgive me." Tears fell from my eyes and left small marks on the paper. I kept writing until I had poured out every feeling from my heart. When the letter was done, I read it again and felt lighter inside. It was full of my real feelings, my love, my guilt, my honest truth. I placed it in an envelope and wrote on it, "For Mom." When I finished, I felt clean inside, as if my heart had been washed. That night, I slept with hope for the first time in many days. Chapter 2. The Letter I Couldn't Give. The next morning, my plan was simple and clear in my mind. I would wake up early, go downstairs, and leave the letter on the kitchen table. My mother always woke up first to make breakfast and tea. She would see the envelope and read it before I came down. I imagined her eyes filling with tears, then a small smile returning to her face. Everything would be fine again. The house would feel warm and full of love. I went to sleep feeling peaceful, ready to make things right again. But when morning came, something inside me changed. The sunlight filled my room, and the birds were singing outside. Yet I didn't feel peaceful anymore. I felt strange and unsettled. The memory of our fight returned, and my pride began to whisper again. It said, "Why should you be the first to say sorry?" She was angry, too. All the soft feelings from last night disappeared, hidden behind my foolish pride. I looked at the letter on my desk, the one that said, "For Mom." In the bright morning light, it looked different, almost like it was judging me. I picked it up slowly and felt its weight in my hand. It wasn't heavy with paper. It was heavy with truth I was scared to show. I stood there, torn between love and pride, and I didn't know what to do. I did not put the letter on the kitchen table that morning. I stood there for a long time, holding it, but I couldn't do it. Something inside me stopped my hand. Maybe fear, maybe pride, maybe both. So I folded the letter and carefully placed it inside my pocket instead. I told myself, maybe later. I'll give it to her later today, but deep down, I was choosing my pride over my love. It was a terrible mistake, though I didn't understand that yet. My pride became a wall between me and my mother's heart. When I finally went downstairs, my mother was already in the kitchen. She was making coffee, her hands moving slowly, quietly. She didn't look at me, and I didn't look at her either. Her eyes looked tired, like she hadn't slept the whole night. We didn't talk. The silence filled the room like cold air. Only the sound of the coffee machine broke the heavy quiet. I ate my breakfast quickly, pretending everything was normal. Then I left the house, feeling the letter still in my pocket. It felt like a stone pressing against my leg, small but heavy. Later I whispered to myself again, but later never truly came. Chapter 3. The Words I Never Said. Days passed, and the letter stayed in my pocket, folded and forgotten. After a while, I took it out and placed it in my desk drawer. It slipped under old papers and books, hidden away like an unwanted memory. I told myself I would give it to her someday, but I never did. I tried to forget about it, and for a time I thought I had. Our fight slowly faded, or at least I believed it did. We began talking again, laughing again, pretending everything was fine. Life seemed normal on the outside, but something inside me had changed. The bad words still echoed in my heart, like ghosts that refused to leave. The apology I never gave stayed trapped inside me, waiting for its moment. But that moment never came. I was too proud, too afraid to speak first. I told myself again and again, there's always tomorrow. But sometimes, tomorrow never arrives. A few weeks after our fight, my mother suddenly became sick. It happened so fast. One day she was fine. The next, she was in the hospital. The doctors spoke quietly, their faces serious and full of worry. They said it was bad, very bad, and my world stopped turning. My strong mother, who once lifted me with one hand, now looked pale and weak. She lay in a white bed with tubes in her arms and machines beside her. I sat by her bed every single day, holding her thin, cold hand. I wanted to tell her everything, to say I was sorry, to say I loved her. I wanted to bring the letter, the one waiting in my drawer. But the words never came out. My throat was locked by fear and guilt. My silence became a prison I had built with my own hands. so I talked about meaningless things. The weather, the food, the flowers outside. I couldn't say the only words that truly mattered. Mom, I'm sorry. I love you. She looked at me sometimes and smiled faintly, her eyes still soft and kind. Maybe she already knew what I couldn't say. I hope she did. Every day she grew weaker, and every day I stayed silent. The letter remained in my drawer, untouched, under old papers and dust. Then one quiet morning the phone rang. It was the hospital. They said my mother was gone. My chance was gone too. The words I kept inside would never be heard. The letter would never be read. My tomorrow had come too late. Chapter 4. The forgiveness I carry. Now my mother died, and my whole world seemed to fall apart around me. My heart was broken so deeply that it felt hard even to breathe. The pain was so big it filled every corner of my life. Nothing felt right anymore. Not the house, not the air, not even time itself. After the funeral, I walked back to my room, feeling empty and lost. The silence inside the room was heavy, almost louder than sound. I opened my drawer slowly, and there it was. The letter. The envelope still said, "For Mom." The words looked faded but alive. My hands were shaking as I picked it up and opened it. I read the words I had written years ago with a trembling heart. Mom, I'm sorry. I love you. Please forgive me. As I read, the tears came fast, warm, endless, uncontrollable. I cried for my mother, for my pride, and for the chance I lost. I cried for the words I never spoke when I still had time. Those words now were only ink. They could no longer reach her heart. When the crying stopped, I placed the letter gently back in its envelope. I couldn't throw it away. It felt too important, too full of truth. So I kept it, not as a letter, but as a memory of love. A sad reminder of what pride can steal from a person's heart. Many years have passed since that day. I am older now, quieter inside. I understand more about love, about forgiveness, and about the mistakes we make in youth. Every year on my birthday, I take out that old letter from my drawer. The paper is soft now, almost fragile, and the envelope has turned yellow with age. On the front, I once wrote new words in a shaky hand. It says, "For Mom, when you are ready to forgive." Each year, I open it and read those same lines again and again. I remember her smile, gentle, kind, brighter than any light I've ever known. I remember her hands, warm, soft, always ready to hold and comfort me. I remember her love, strong, patient, and endless, even when I didn't deserve it. And now, I finally understand something I couldn't see back then. My mother had already forgiven me. That very next morning, she had forgiven me. She forgave me in the hospital, too, with every tired, loving look she gave me. Her love was bigger than my angry words, bigger than my foolish pride. She was never waiting to forgive me. It was me who wasn't ready. All along, I was the one who needed to forgive myself. So every year, I read the letter again, letting her love fill my heart. I remind myself that forgiveness is a quiet journey, one step at a time, and I try to forgive myself, slowly, gently, little by little. Each year I promised to be a better man, the kind my mother dreamed of. A man my mother would be proud of, even after all these years. Thank you for being here till the end. Your support means everything. Please like and subscribe for more gentle tales.